This is a video that a number of viewers have requested. I just haven't got around to making the video, but now I have some time, so let's talk about it. So the question is adding a more bass to the JBL PartyBox 320. That's the speaker you see on top. The speaker cost $550. So people ask me, what should I get? I want more bass. Obviously, they're a bass head because the JBL 320 is a really good bass performing speaker. It goes down to 40 Hz. That is the same spec that a standalone live PA, small live PA sub, a 10-inch, 12-inch will go down to 40. So that's a very respectable number. But these people want more bass. So they're asking me, what should I do? Should I get a second JBL 320 or should I go up to the 520? So that's the question at hand, and that's what we're going to try to solve. So right off the bat, a second 320 isn't going to give you a whole lot more bass. It'll give you a little more bass. If you put the two speakers together, that would be a little better performing, but that would defeat the purpose of a second speaker. A second speaker, you really want to separate them 10 to 15 feet apart and get that stereo field, even though they're not playing in stereo necessarily, but your ear assumes it's hearing left and right stereo image. So yeah, getting a second 320 will add some volume, a little bit of volume, about 2 or 3 dB the most, and it'll add a little bit of bass. So I don't know if that's the way to go. Unless you want the stereo image, that's a different story. So again, at $550, then you're going to spend another $550 for another 320. So the other question is, should I go up to the 520? Now, personally, I do not have the 520, and I'm glad I didn't get it. So let me tell you a couple of reasons why. So, and what I'm going to tell you is basically from my reading, what I've read in other people's comments. Like I mentioned, I don't have it, so I can't really give you a true world experience. But number one, it's a much bigger speaker and it's heavier. So this 320 is 30 something pounds, 35 something, 34. I don't know. Look it up. But the 520 jumps up to 56 pounds. It's huge. It's a monster. That's heavier than my Bose Sub 2. That's really heavy to lug around. These speakers do have wheels, and so that's a big downside. The other downside of going to the 520 is the battery gets cut in half. So this battery of the 320 is really long lasting. I think it's like over 15 hours, something like that, and the 520 gets like 7 hours. So that's a big factor. Your battery gets cut in half. And you will get a volume boost. The JBL 320, one of its limitations, in my opinion, because I'm comparing it to live PA speakers, not PartyBox speakers, is its max volume. So the 320 can go up to 109 dB, which is pretty respectable, especially in the home. It's all you need. Playing outside, it's a little more of a struggle. And then when you go to the 520, I believe it goes up to 111 dB. So that is a nice boost from 109, but it's not huge. It's not huge. So you're getting, and then I've also read that the bass is better on the 520, but again, it's not night and day. It's not huge. So a lot of people are saying that the 320 is like the perfect speaker. So getting back to the original question, I want more, I have a 320 and I want more bass. So here is my solution. You need to add a dedicated subwoofer, a real subwoofer. Now, I have done videos about this using a home theater subwoofer, which uses RCA inputs, and it works. You'll have to go back and see those videos. It's just different cabling. And, or my preference is a live PA sub, like the one I'm going to demonstrate, because those go louder. So this sub that we're talking about in front of us is fairly new. It came out this year. It's called the Mackie ThumpSub Go. I've made a whole bunch of videos about it. You should go back and watch them before you're purchasing to get more information. And it's a dual 8-inch, and it's completely battery powered. So that's, you're not going to get that from a home theater sub. So this rig here is completely mobile, completely battery powered, and you're going to get the extra bass. How much extra bass? I would say double. It's very, very noticeable. It turns, like I said, the JBL 320 is very, very respectful at low volumes. I'm saying, let's say under 95 dB, 90 dB, which is, I wouldn't play louder in the home. It sounds like you have a subwoofer playing. It's a very well balanced speaker. It has beautiful highs and nice mids. It's really a great speaker. It's really a wonderful speaker. They put everything in one box. But if you want the extra mile, if you want to go the next level, then something like this is the way to go, a subwoofer. And this is pretty much the only thing out there as far as battery powered. So let's talk price. The Mackie ThumpSub Go is $600. So it's just $50 more than the $550 of the 320, and you're getting this huge jump in bass. You're not going to gain much in volume if that's what you're looking for. You'll gain maybe 2 dB. So the JBL 320, it maxes out at 109 dB. So it might push it up to 111. And that's kind of where you are with the 520. So that's interesting. One of the downsides of this speaker, though, like I mentioned, outdoor play, 109 dB is not considered very loud as far as a portable PA speaker. And this isn't a portable, it's a PartyBox speaker. That's the limitations of PartyBox. They don't go super loud. So I'm thinking of my Bose my Bose S1 Pro Plus, which is a tiny little speaker in comparison, 18 pounds. This is 35 something. So it's really portable. And that little speaker goes up to 109. It's a little more expensive though. It's $700, yeah, $700. But there's a speaker out there called the Mackie Thump, and it matches up with the sub, and that's I think it's $450, and that goes up to 114 dB. It's a very clean speaker. It doesn't have the mid-range or the bass of the JBL 320, but it goes louder. It goes up to 114 dB. So that's, if you're gonna buy a sub like this, I really wouldn't recommend getting the 320. I would just get the Mackie, the matching Mackie speaker for $450 and this speaker for $600, and you got the perfect match. But if you already have the 320, like many people are asking me, and you want more bass, this is the way to go. So let's do a little sound demo, and I'll prove it to you. As far as the sound demo, it'll be a non-copyrighted track. It's not the greatest track, but you'll be able to hear when the bass kicks in. Also, as far as the sub pole holding this up, it's a QSC pole. It's not adjustable. I don't know the exact length. I can give that to you if you're interested. Put that down in the comments down below. But I didn't want to use my regular sub pole, which goes much higher, because this is a 35-pound speaker. Not that they can't hold it. It just it kind of looks ungainly, this huge speaker over the smaller sub. So this sub pole is working out really nice. And like I said, it's one piece, so it's really sturdy. Another reason for the smaller, shorter pole is just taking that speaker off the pole. It's 35, 36 pounds, no side handle. So on a taller sub pole, it would be a real balancing act to be pushing that thing over your head and hoping it doesn't fall on you. So that's another consideration. It's a heavy speaker, no side handle. So our procedure for the sound demo, unfortunately, the Mackie ThumpSub Go, it does have an app, but the app doesn't control the gain. So there's no way for me to control the gain from a distance. So we're gonna do it the old school way, using my hand. So I'm just gonna be turning it up and turning it down. When it's here, it's at 0, the sub is off. And one of the problems, the issues of this setup is when you play the sub at 12 noon, it's playing, but you don't really hear a huge difference from the PartyBox 320. So you have to turn up the gain to about 3 o'clock. Then it really kicks in. I've never even tried it at 11, but at 3 o'clock, there goes your night and day difference, and your money is well spent. Okay. I think the reason is I don't have the gain output from the 320. Just I don't want to push the 320 at max volume, hurt my ears. So at a normal volume, I'm going to be playing about 90 dB right now. At that volume, the gain just isn't enough to push the sub. So you have to crank up the sub gain. So that's the only downside. But like I said, once you crank it up to 3 o'clock, you're going to be very happy. So here we go, and let's see if you can hear the difference. I couldn't resist that psychedelic effects I added at the end there. Okay, hope you heard the huge difference. I've said this many times on my videos. I'm not using professional recording equipment. I'm using an iPhone 13, and that's it. Because I don't have any money to spend on recording equipment for YouTube. I'm spending all my money on gear. So let's talk about the Hookup, and then we'll sum it up. I hope you heard the difference. It was huge. And that was nowhere near even the max volume of the 320. Like I said, it was about 90 dB, and this thing will go up to, over 100 dB, another 10 dB more. And the more juice you give the 320, then the more gain you're going to have on the sub go. So it's a pretty powerful little system here. So as far as Hookup, very important. Everybody wants to know how do you do this? So you need a 1/8 inch adapter. I'll show it to you when I pull the cable apart. You're coming from the 1/8 inch out of the PartyBox 320. The 320 is my Bluetooth sending speaker. Okay. There's your 1/8 inch, and there's your out. And then you're going into the sub. It doesn't matter, input A or B, and you're just going in, and it's a combi jack. So I'm just using a guitar cable, and this is important. You see there's one hash mark. You don't want to use the 2 hash marks. That's TRS cable. You'll get less gain. It'll work, but it won't sound very good. So this is your normal guitar cable. Any Guitar Center, and then, like I said, you need the adapter on the other side. 1 hash mark. It's called TS cable. And there's our adapter that goes into the guitar cable into the 320. I got this at Radio Shack. I believe Radio Shack's out of business right now, but it's really cheap. You can get them at Walmart probably. It's 1/8 inch into 1/4 inch female. Any Guitar Center, Sweetwater will sell it to you like it's probably $2, less than $5. Okay, so pretty easy hookup. Wrapping up this video, summarizing. We didn't talk about the price. The total price is $1,200 out the door. No, actually, before tax. The JBL is $550. The sub is $600. You need the cable, $20. You need the little adapter, $5 or below. You need the sub pole. Right here we have the a regular speaker stand, $50. I'm not sure how much that QSC sub pole is, but I'm assuming it's in the same price range or less. You can get other sub poles at Sweetwater for about $35. Will hold up a heavy speaker like this, no problem. Let's talk about the speaker stand. Some people like this look better, actually. It's just cosmetics. It depends on what you like. And some people think this kind of looks more like a column array, so they prefer this. There is a liability, though. Speaker stands are more easily knocked over. So, you know, you don't want your speaker flying or someone getting hurt at a gig. So I think the sub pole into the sub is more secure, definitely more secure. So that's it. Again, going back to the beginning, if you have your 320, I would not get a second 320. Unless you're just looking for stereo sound and you're not looking for bass. But the people who requested this video are self-proclaimed bass heads. So they said, I want the next level bass. What do I do? Should I go for the 520? And the answer is no. You're not going to get this kind of bass performance from the 520. It'll be louder, but you're not going to get standalone subwoofer performance from the 520. It'll be a little better bass, but not what you're looking for. So this is the way I would go. I'll say it again. If you don't have the 320, you know, you don't need to buy a big heavy speaker like that. You can get away with getting a smaller speaker that matches up with the sub. Like I mentioned, I've done a bunch of videos with this sub because I think it's so impressive. And yeah, but as far as all around speaker, you know, I didn't even mention that, you know, the 320 has a light show, it has wheels, it has a handle that it retracts. So it's really a excellent product for $550. Okay, hope you enjoyed. Like I mentioned, this subwoofer, adding it is night and day difference. I'm very, very impressed. And by the way, this was the first time I have matched these two up. Because I just got the Mackie ThumpSub go. I've been going through my speaker collection slowly, and I finally got around to the 320. Okay, this is Bill. I hope you've enjoyed. Put comments down below. I'll be glad to answer and try to catch you on the next one. Later.